Shout out to everybody on Facebook that checked in on my last post. I was telling you that I had to go to court this week. So I'm just back from court. I was in child support court in two different counties this week. That has taken up all of my mental energy for the last probably month and a half, 2 months, concentrating on these two cases. And well, obviously you see that I'm not locked up right now. So it actually went pretty good. Although in Somerset County, I was locked up for a couple of hours, I must admit. I just want to make a comment about the court system, how it was handled this time. I'm not going to go too much in detail right this second, but I got to admit this time it was actually a lot better. Usually every year they fuck with me. Every year I end up getting locked up for fucking child support. Not that I'm not paying, but not that they want to get a bulk payment from me. You know what I mean? At one time so that they can get the money off of it. Just check out the link that I posted and you'll see why that is. You know what I'm saying? You can say that you're not paying for that. No, I pay for child support. You know what I'm saying? Just like a whole bunch of other people that's locked up. But if you ever get into a situation where the amount of money that they want from you is different than the amount of money that you actually have, or the amount of money that you really should be paying, then, that's where you start getting into that gray area. You women out there that have kids and that think you've done so much, how many of you have been strip searched? How many of you have been, degraded in front of groups of people that you don't even know that you might walk in front of later on because you're walking around in handcuffs? How many of you have been degraded by some 20-year-old fucking cop that's probably never even seen shit yet in his life, but he just looks at you as a criminal because you're in handcuffs? Like, we're in the courthouse. I'm there, to take care of some child support matters. I already know I got a warrant because, my son's mother called up and had them put a warrant on me. So I'm going down there to take care of it. They don't have to come get me. They don't have to look for me. Not that they don't have my address, because I'm not hiding nowhere. They have my address. First of all, I came down there to see you people. What's the need to lock me up? I already know there's a case and everything. I wouldn't have came down there. So what's the purpose of actually getting the sheriff to come over there? And there was a couple of cops that I had to deal with in that time, about 4 different cops. 3 of them, well, 2 of them were cool, 2 of them were whatever. One of them was just intermediate. He was just neutral. He didn't really say anything. He didn't really act like an asshole or anything. 2 of them were real cool. Asked me if I knew a couple of people that he knew from back in the day and stuff like that. They're all white cops, mind you. But, this one cat used to be a boxer. So he knew some people my son's mother is related to. Let's put it like that. Okay, I'm not going to put her out there right now. You know what I'm saying? Even though I should. So he was acting cool. We chit-chatted. He was acting cool. Another cop was, real short guy. Usually they have complexes and stuff like that. But he was, real cool, too. You know what I'm saying? He was, chit-chatting me up and, being real respectful. Because he must have known I was in there for child support. I'm not in there for selling drugs, robbing somebody, none of that type of shit. When they take you upstairs, I didn't go to jail per se. I was actually in the courthouse in the holding cells of right across from the court where you get held until you go to court. Like when they bring you from the county jail, they put you in the holding cell until it's your time to go meet the judge. So instead, I was downstairs. I walked in myself. So I met with the probation officer, which is that's another weird thing. Why you have a probation officer just because you have child support? Come down, run through my stuff, pat me down, handcuff me behind the back, which is some other shit too. It's what, am I gonna fucking jump you motherfuckers? I'm in a courthouse full of police. What am I gonna do? You're still intimidated by me? You gotta handcuff me behind the back to make yourself feel good? When do you ever get handcuffed in the front? Because sometimes when I look on TV, I seen Bernie Madoff, the billionaire thief, getting handcuffed in the front. What's with that shit? You know what I'm saying? Do you have to request that shit or something? So then, we have to go upstairs to the 5th floor, so we have to get in the elevator. And one of the cool cops, which I'm glad, he took us through the little jury entrance. So, it was a little secluded elevator that nobody could use. Only the sheriff's office and them could use it. So I was, glad for that because I'm he paraded me around in front of a bunch of people and, I'm a criminal, I just did something, but I didn't do shit. So they take me up to the elevator and I'm, on the elevator with 3 cops, right? And the one young bitch-ass cop is, face the back wall. Like what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do some James Bond shit, come up out of the hand. I'm gonna do some Born Identity shit, come out the handcuffs, and then whoop y'all fucking ass, and then get off the elevator or something. Like, what is the purpose of that? B, I'm here for child support. All right? No one's been murdered. There's nothing like that. So we get upstairs, they put me in a holding cell, and the best part of it all, like it took a little while, you know, I had to have patience and all that shit. And shout outs to everybody that was well wishing me success in my case, because what happened was I had it was an older white judge, very elderly dude. And he was completely understanding of the whole situation. He saw that I pay every week. And he was basically like, you know what? Give me the paper so I can turn him loose right now. Don't take him back to the county jail. Don't do none of that. Don't try to process him. Let me release him right now. And that's exactly what he did. So shout outs to that judge. And I'm not going to name him right now, but because you're supposed to, that's how all judges are supposed to be. They're supposed to look at things impartially and with reality in their eyes. You know what I mean? And then next up, I went to court again today for another case of trying to extort money out of me. And for my daughter this time. So I'm in Union County now at that court system. And, you know, I didn't really have too much fear because, you know, I don't have any warrants there or anything. I'm there to take care of my case. I have a pending motion filed in that county as well, you know, for my modifications and my custody. So I have a pending motion in that case. So just as long as they heard me say that, I was hopeful that everything would turn out right. But I was there representing myself. I've never had a lawyer with none of this shit, which is why my case is so fucked up, which is why so many other people's cases are so fucked up, because they just run you through the system when you really should have a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? You're being subjected to criminal penalties from this family civil matter. Like, you can get locked up from this shit, but they don't provide you with a lawyer. Like, if you can't afford one. And of course you can't afford one. You're in there disputing how much money you owe them for child support. You know what I'm saying? So obviously you're not built from cash to have lawyers and shit. So they just run you through this little bullshit system. And this time last time it was a female hearing officer. It wasn't even a judge. They put you through some administrative bullshit. Now, I don't know what branch of government administrative is. I mean, I've heard of the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. I don't know what branch of government administrative is. But that's who's handling my shit. You know, the administrative branch. So it's not a judge. It's some person that gives a recommendation to the judge, and then they help the judge make up his mind so the judge doesn't have to hear all of these goddamn cases. So this last time it was a white lady. She had attitude. She was trying to run some bullshit on me, but I had my paperwork and everything, so all she could do was say, come back in 3 months. Well, now we're at 3 months later. And this time I had a black female hearing officer. And within 15 minutes, she heard what was going on, bip, bip, bop, and she was like, they're charging you what? How much per week? Okay, go get that modified, and I'll see you again some other time. I was out of there in like 15 minutes. You know what I mean? So thankfully, I had two very responsible adults that handled my case today. One, well, yesterday and today. One was an older white man, probably in his 60s or 70s, who, you know, just like a run-of-the-mill old white judge, who was very impartial and gave a good opinion as far as I'm concerned. I was only locked up for like 2 hours. So, and he let me out right on the spot, didn't ask for a dime. So fuck that bitch trying to get my fucking money. Thought she was going to get a lump sum from me, but they didn't ask me for a dime. You know what I'm saying? Because I pay my shit every week. So they didn't ask me for an extra dime or nothing. He said, release me and let me go home. Same thing happened in Union County. Didn't ask me for an extra dime. Let me go, and I was out of there. So now it's time for me to have to go down the road that I didn't want to go down, which is, you know, I've always been a defendant. Now I'm about to be the plaintiff. Okay? So just a word for all you fathers out there. Keep your head up, have faith, and you might get through it. All right? This is your man, Kurt Nice. Comment on this post if you want to. And thanks to everybody that had me in their prayers and was putting good words on my Facebook. All right? So check y'all out later. Peace.